Good morning, students. From your Flamingo books, we are doing an elementary school classroom in a slum written by Stephen Spender. Stephen Spender is proclaimed as a socialist and a pacifist. In this poem, he concentrates on the theme of social injustice and class inequalities. He depicts the pathetic life of slum children who are victims of government's apathy. The poet is writing about an elementary classroom in a slum and questions the value of education in such a context, suggesting that maps of the world and good literature may raise hopes and aspirations which will never be fulfilled. The poor, emaciated slum children are like captives in the world of darkness, poverty, and hopelessness. Through this poem, the poet expresses his outrage at the insensitive attitude of the rich and privileged people towards the unfortunate children of the slum school. But he is not pessimistic. He qualifies it saying that all the learned people of the society are able to transport the education beyond boundaries of the classroom will spell hope for the future. So we can say the poem is a bitter criticism on state of education in elementary schools of slum. Now we are going to do with the poetic devices of the poem An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum. The poetic devices used are many over here. The first one that we are doing is a simile. Simile, students, is a comparison of two dissimilar things, two unlike things, and the words that show that the line or a phrase is a simile is like and as. So in this poetry there are many examples of simile. The first one is like rootless weeds, where the students have been compared to weeds, unwanted plants, or the poor kids or the slum children are compared to unwanted plants. Then like bottle bits on stones. So over here again the life of these slum children is being described as they are shattered like the shattered glass, scattered glass. Then like catacombs, again their life has been told to us that their narrow lanes are a living hell, and it is no less than a catacombs. And then slums as big as tomb. There is a simile that these slums are a living hell. The next is metaphor. Metaphor means a comparison between two concepts, but over here we omit the adjoining words like as and like and as. And the examples of metaphor are rat's eyes, that is the children's eyes are depicted as a rat that is bulged, that is the rat keeps on looking for food. Similarly, the students are example, the kids in the slum are example of malnutrition. Then the other example is tree room, futures painted with a fog. Futures painted with a fog, that is in fog visibility is not there. Similarly, the slum children, their future is also blocked by hopelessness. Then lead sky, spectacles of steel, these are all examples of metaphor. Then next is imagery. Imagery means words or phrases that appeal to any sense or any combination of senses. Now when we the words that the poet has used are bones, glass, bottle, bits on stones. These all words appeal to our senses, weighed down. We can picture them, though through this poetry, the lines of the poetry, we can visualize those images, and it depicts the hardships in the lives of these slum children. The next poetic device is pun. Pun means a word or a phrase that has more than one meaning. Now the word reciting literal is reciting a lesson, but then figurative is that the child is reciting the father's disease, that is he is in an image of his father, like his father had a deformed body, if in fact his body is also deformed. Then sour cream, that literal meaning is that dirty yellow walls, but figurative is a dismal place where their dreams have shattered, they have turned sour. And the other example is lead sky. The other poetic devices that the poet has used is anaphora, that is use of repeated words into consecutive lines, run, assure, and run naked. Then allusion, that is reference to well-known person or place. Now Shakespeare's head, Shakespeare, a renowned literary poet, dramatist. Tyrolese Valley in Austria. These are references of a place, person. So allusion has been used. Then assonance, that is repetition of vowel sounds, build, flowery, Tyrolese Valley. So vowel sound E has been repeated. Alliteration, that is alliteration is the repetition of initial letters, generally a consonant or first sound of several words, marking the stressed syllables in a line of poetry. So far, far from. So the sound f has been repeated. Similarly, there are many examples: street sealed, sir, surely Shakespeare, tempting them. These all are examples of alliteration. And then enjambment is used. Enjambment where there is no the line or a phrase is in continuation and no punctuation mark has been used.